By the end of this video, I will convince you that the relationship between Roger and Xebec is the same as Shanks and Luffy. Stay with me and I can prove it very interestingly. First of all, I have to say the greatest mistake that any of us One Piece fans can commit is to listen to the character statement and ignore the actual narrative of the story. Oda fooled us way too many times by this trick. Not anymore, at least in this subject. We were led to believe that the entire God Valley was about Garp and Roger fighting against Xebec. As I predicted, yes, I'm gonna be a bit cocky in this video, just this video. I had so many right calls about God Valley, please let me have this. As I predicted, the Rocks crew is a super crew that all of the captains of the New World go on the banner of Rocks and then they do great things. The theory already been foreshadowed by Big Mom when she said to Kaido, "Is this the first time you're joining Rocks?" And they all got united under the banner of Rocks D Xebec to go and take one devil fruit as their prize from the Celestial Dragons. And now we know at the Battle of God Valley, all the pirate world were united, including Roger, and he joined hands in the same goal as rest of the pirate world to get that devil fruit, whatever that may be, Nika. Because again, as I predicted in this video, the actual reason that made most sense for Xebec was to attack the island to obtain a certain devil fruit, and no devil fruit in One Piece world is as significant as Nika devil fruit to be that important for the plot of the story. Yummy Yummy no Mi can be an option, but I cannot see the day that Roger truly wants to eat Yummy Yummy no Mi. The only devil fruit that has enough signature importance for One Piece world that all piracy rally to obtain it is Nika devil fruit, and Roger really wanted a piece of that. But unlike what the story implied and I predicted, Garp wasn't actually the person in charge of chasing Xebec. In fact, he wasn't even caring about the crew. He was like, okay, just don't provoke them, let them do their thing. We're probably not gonna go to war. The only thing that Garp truly cared about was Roger. And Roger was the reason he attacked there. Because, in the opinion of Garp, enough force was existed in God Valley for them to stop Holy Knights. The tiebreaker was the existence of Roger, and that's why Garp went to that battle. And then in chapter 1096, what we saw was chaos. Pure, utter chaos of every side going for themselves, not even side versus side. We saw in the crew of Roger, Scupper Gaban is telling to Roger, hey, for this event, there is no privilege for you as our captain. This is every man for himself. This is the multi-sided, multi-motivation battle that all the piracy, all the world governments, every side of back then 38 years ago wanted for themselves. This is what Oda do best. Multi-side attack for one reason. And I believe this would be the same scenario by the end of One Piece and the final war that Oda is keep hyping us. But the thing that mattered the most among all of this chaos is a relationship between Roger and Xebec. Hello and welcome to my second channel, Rocks Review Long. Do not forget to subscribe if you want extremely biased opinion about amazingly badass what if scenario that only a very small percent of it gonna come true. With that said, let's talk about perhaps the most important relationship that Roger had with his greatest foe, with his greatest rival, Xebec, and how that relationship is the defining moment of not just God Valley, the entirety of One Piece. Originally, we assumed the only reason that Rocks Pirate were defeated is the reason that from the start, Garp and Roger joined hands and therefore their defeated enemy. I cannot really say that Sengoku was wrong, but we can definitely say what he said to the Marine was misleading, because the idea of a pirate like Roger just definitely betrayed a pirate world was always too fishy for me. In fact, I wrote a fan fiction with the premise of Roger and Xebec working together, because it always was true to me that these two people can work together. Two legendary King of Eras who are from the bloodline, and they definitely have the best and greatest conquer hockey of their generation and are the pinnacle of piracy. Of course, there's gonna be a deeper relationship other than rivalry in the world of One Piece, because in the world of One Piece, rivalry is not always a bad thing. Look at Shanks and Mihawk Garp. and Roger, and Whitebeard, they always have a tremendous amount of respect when it comes to rivalry. So now, with everything that happened, we can go deep into the relationship between Roger and Xebec. And based on previous knowledge, I always condemned Roger for working against Xebec, because he, in my opinion back then, made a crucial mistake by fighting against Xebec to protect world government. But now we know that he did no such thing. At least in the beginning of battle, they both knew that Pirates Alliance matter much more than anything that come from the world government or marine. At the beginning of the video, I was talking about Shanks and Luffy relationship, but the personality of Xebec actually resembles like Luffy, and in fact, he might have a similar role to Luffy, because we should know by the end of the story, Luffy is the person who will bring all of the pirate world to fight against world government. Xebec was also capable of doing such thing, but he almost failed because apparently he wasn't leader enough to rule over Whitebeard, Shiki, Kaido, Big Mom, and apparently Roger. Which is a reasonable thing to fail at, but nonetheless, the role and personality of Xebec seems like a very dark and cruel Luffy, but a Luffy nonetheless. The most important line in chapter 1096 is when Roger said, "I've been waiting an entire year for this." So, this wasn't just an impulsive act that Roger's like, "Hey, everybody's going to God Valley, let me go there." No, he had an exact plan for going to this location from 1 year ago. So this means Xebec and Roger were in a cahoot in the last year before attacking the God Valley, and perhaps they were willing to put their differences aside and work together, and all of them rally under the banner of Xebec for this great war. All of the piracy against all of the government. I can already imagine Xebec saying something like this to Roger.
They'll all be there. Everyone except you. They respect you. They know you.
No, they don't know me. You know me.
Which actually is convincing. And again, this rally wasn't just all of the piracy as one, but every single pirate at their most free moment, going for themselves, ignoring even the most holy rule of pirate world, respecting the privilege of the captain. If Roger Pirates, among every other crew, is ignoring the captain privilege in this battle, you should know that this is a dog-eat-dog world with utter chaos and mayhem. The prize that all the pirates were looking for was the same prize that world government wanted to offer. Devil fruits. Again, I called it, many other people called it. Kaido devil fruit and Kuma devil fruit definitely are two of the 6 devil fruits involved as prize. And again, as I said, no devil fruit is significant enough for all of these people to go after it. If you have any other theory, do not forget to comment down below and I will read it. At this point, I would be surprised if this is not Nika, unless Oda wanna introduce us to a new devil fruit like Moon God or something. And if getting the Nika devil fruit is a global desire for all the pirates, it can solve a lot of plot holes that I originally assumed existed in One Piece. For example, I always said, why characters like Rayleigh, Gaban, Roger, and so many other titanically strong people refuse to eat a devil fruit just to be stronger? And if their goal is to be the next Nika, it makes perfect sense for them to refuse to eat any devil fruit, because eating a devil fruit will kill their chance of being Nika. So it makes sense for the top tier characters like Roger, Garp, Rayleigh, and so on to eat a devil fruit, because the cost of eating a devil fruit is not to be Nika, which is not reasonable for many people who want to change the world. And also, I have to say that if Nika be the actual prize of this tournament, while Garling is hailed to be the champion of God Valley for whatever reason, which I now know is much more important, the real winner of this battle is Luffy and Shanks. Because Shanks was the person who eventually took the devil fruit and gave it to the right person. So either Garling or Shanks, the Figarland family was the winner of this war. Again, this is a technical truce, and if you have any problem, pick it up with Oda because he loves Shanks more than any of us. But now, let's talk about the turning point of this battle, ignoring every unknown scenario and headcanons and theories that we probably have about the nature of this devil fruit. We knew a devil fruit existed. We know that Roger and Xebec wanted it. We know that they worked as the pirate global attack. But we also know that Roger worked with Garp and they defeated Xebec. So something happened, and we already have a foreshadow of that. A moment when Roger is asking Xebec, "Don't do it." And Xebec is replying, "Don't get in my way." If you look at this moment, you can actually see respect and not hate. Again, the relationship between Roger and his rivals like Garp and Shirohige was always full of respect. And in this specific moment, Roger is asking Xebec to don't do it. And Xebec, as if he's a big brother who wanna protect his nosy little brother, is going like, "Don't interfere, just let me handle this." Something happened. Xebec, probably somebody who will go too far, somebody who can be very well evil in his own way, not as evil as world government, but a ruthless man nonetheless, because he had Shiki, Kaido, and so many other terrorists working under him. He was going to do something very wrong, and Roger, in the heat of the moment, for saving lives of probably his slaves or something like that, decided to go against Xebec, even at the cost of saving the world government. And this is very strange because before introduction of Garling, even I subscribed to this idea that Whitebeard was the person who betrayed Rocks D Xebec, therefore making the victory for Roger and Garp doable and possible. But now we know the person who actually committed treason and betrayed the pirate world to stop something probably evil that was coming from Rocks D Xebec was Roger. Roger was the person who betrayed piracy and betrayed One Piece world for whatever reason, which I assume is something legitimate because, again, as we've just been proven in this chapter, Roger is no fool. But I'm not here to say what was the reason that turned Xebec and Roger against them in the heat of the battle. I want to say what was the reason for Roger and Xebec to be united and work together to go to this island from 1 year. Remember at the meeting of Roger and Whitebeard, Roger told Whitebeard that 13 years ago, I had my first road poneglyph. 26 years ago, this statement was said, making it 39 years ago. 1 year before the God Valley War. 1 year that Roger was talking about. Roger received a road poneglyph a year before God Valley. And for 1 year, he had plan and motivation and just an urge to attack God Valley and obtain a devil fruit. He had motivation. Somebody should have told him the truth. Have you ever wondered what was the reason for Roger to want to be the Pirate King? We know that Luffy wants to be the Pirate King because Shanks established for him what it means to be pirate. To be pirate means to be free, and to be Pirate King means to be the freest person in this world, and that's why he bet an arm on him to make Luffy the Pirate King, and that's the reason behind the great motivation of Luffy that cannot be stopped even at the cost of his own life. Luffy has a legitimate reason to be Pirate King, but what is the reason behind the dream of Roger? Roger never had any idea what is at Laugh Tale. He just wanted to go there. Why? Who gave him this information that if you go there, something big will happen? Something will change your life. Somebody convinced Roger that going to Laugh Tale is a dream worth dying for. And if I connect dots together, knowing that both Rocks and Roger were from D clan, and if Rocks be truly after finding Nika, and as I said, Rocks being somebody who want to turn against world government and destroy them to pieces by bringing all of the pirate world under his banner. He's very similar to Luffy, but perhaps a darker and far more cruel version of Luffy. So Roger might have received his point and his motivation from Xebec. And wait, there is more. In the Battle of God Valley, we don't have Xebec who wants to achieve something. We have Xebec calling everybody up at his aid. Xebec is telling everybody that he knows, Whitebeard, Shiki, Big Mom, Silver Axe, Captain John, everybody, that come with me on this island. And this is gonna be an utter royal battle chaos. and anyone who takes the prize will have it. Xebec doesn't even necessarily want the devil fruit to be just his own prize. He wants somebody to find that devil fruit. And again, as I said, if that devil fruit be something like Nika, or something on the caliber of Nika that can change the existence of the world, he is trying to overthrow government at any cost necessary. He wants to create the next Nika, because he's rallying every person that he knows to find that devil fruit. So perhaps somebody can change the world. And this is exactly something that Roger did at the execution of Roger, when he had no hope for being the chosen one himself. He had a great master plan. Roger sacrificed his life for one last hurrah, so he can say at the moment of his execution that my treasure, One Piece, is there. Go and find it. And meanwhile, he gave a secret mission to Shanks that, hey, you cannot be the Pirate King because, again, you are not also the chosen one. Xebec wanted to be the Nika. I wanted to be the Pirate King. It is your duty to bring both of these worlds together. It is your duty to find a Nika who is also Pirate King and let that person to defeat the world government. That's why I believe Shanks never wanted to be the Pirate King, because he was working for the dream of Xebec and Roger to bring the chosen one, to bring the person who can turn the world around, the second Jewel Boy, the true heir to Nika. And this relationship that Roger and Xebec had led to the dream of Shanks and led to the dream and the goal of Luffy and the relationship that they had between Shanks and Luffy. This is the actual poetic plotline that Oda can very well use. The dreams passing to next generation after next generation, and each generation do something more selfless and do the right thing. Roger corrected all the mistakes of Xebec. Shanks corrected all the mistakes of Roger, and Luffy will correct all the mistakes of Shanks. But there is one sad scenario, and again, as I said in this recent video, that there is still a chance of Shanks and Luffy fighting each other for the same reason that Xebec and Roger fought each other. But again, I deep down hope, as I just said, the new generation correct the mistake of previous one. Roger and Xebec could have worked together. They could have changed the world. They could have bring the world's government to their knees, but they failed. But perhaps there is a chance, there is a hope for Shanks and Luffy to work together, even sometimes as enemies and as rivals, because now both of them are Yonko, but eventually they can be the person who will destroy 900 years of tyranny and destroy the world government. When the Pirate King is Nika, and that person is a true Xebec who can bring all of the pirate world, but this time more united than ever, stronger than ever, and this time they can finish the job that Roger and Xebec failed to do. This is a poetic, true scenario that I would be shocked if Oda be too far away from it, because how beautiful that is. But again, Oda is 10 times greater, stronger, smarter, more intelligent than I am. If he gonna come up with a scenario for the end war, it is gonna be better than this. But this is the low bar. This is the lowest that I expect from Oda, something poetic and meaningful in the format of shonen genre. I hoped what I said makes sense to you. I hope I didn't shout too much. Do not forget to subscribe and show your support to my channel, because it means a lot to me. And I see you all at Laugh Tale.